Thank you for joining us for another Candid Conversation. Let's talk about it, the Candid Conversation Show. My name is Muriel.
And my name is Ruby.
Just because you see a smile does not mean everything is perfect. We all have a story. On the show, we discuss topics that are unspoken and taboo in our community. We are so excited to have a conversation with Michelle Sperzell. We will be discussing leadership, community advocacy, and domestic violence.
Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Welcome!
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you very much for having me on the show today.
You're welcome. We know you're so busy, so we know you took time out of your schedule, so we're not going to take up too much of your time.
Well, this is an important conversation, so
Absolutely.
I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you.
We always lead the show with asking the guests to tell us a little bit about their childhood because we believe that that's who basically shapes us to who we become as adults.
So I feel amazingly blessed. I have some amazing parents. My mom and my dad, they met when they were 16 and 17, and they're still together to this day.
Oh, sweethearts.
Yes, it's amazing.
That is.
When I went to go visit them and we did their 50th wedding anniversary, it was just like one of my favorite moments of being their child to be able to celebrate that with them.
Oh, sweet.
And I also have an older brother and an older sister, and I would have to say the defining moment in my childhood and in our family is my sister was hit by a drunk driver when she was in her second grade.
Oh, no.
And so my oldest sister became my youngest sibling. And that defined our entire life.
That's right.
And really set me on the trajectory of where I am today, giving back and doing nonprofit work, because my childhood friends were her kids that she was going to therapy with. And so when I was playing with kids, they were kids who had a lot of developmental disabilities, who had cerebral palsy, who just a lot of people did not treat them fairly or kindly. And so that's who I played with a lot when I was growing up. And so I know that that experience has definitely changed my world.
Absolutely. You have a compassionate heart. You absolutely do.
And brought me to where I am today.
Yes.
And, but we're a very close family because of that. My brother's one of my closest friends. He's ridiculously witty. And so if I ever have a rough day, he's who I reach out to. And I mean, as far as my dad, he's my biggest fan. I mean, he's so proud of what it is that I'm doing. And my mom is probably the most intelligent and strong woman. And I know a lot of girls say that about their mom. But I really, my mom, she was
really
one of the
mean
first people who, one of the first women to work for the IRS when she was first getting out of college.
Wow.
Yeah, and so she's just, and she fought really hard for my sister to make sure my sister went to a normal school.
That's right.
Versus being put in a special needs school when my sister started going through therapy. And so that is just, I mean, who we are. I mean, we are fighters and perseverance, and you don't tell my family no.
That's right.
My parents are serial entrepreneurs, and they are working to this day on like their 5th business that they've done.
Oh my
so
gosh.
they're both in their 70s. They're 76 and 75.
Wow, what strong-willed people as well.
Yeah.
Isn't that something, though, how her story reminds me of our story. We have the same upbringing. We have our brother, he was born with hydrocephalus, and my mother was paralyzed from the waist down. So we share, the same type of upbringing where you're caring for someone. We're very close. And my parents did not allow him to be part of any type of special needs, anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was treated the same.
Yes.
Absolutely.
As all of us.
Yeah, and my sister, she has, I have 2 nephews, and they are ridiculous. They're totally ridiculous. And so looking at them and watching them grow up, it's one of those moments of huge success for the entire family as well. So yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great. I love that. Michelle, I want to say thank you for what you are doing with your leadership with the Harbor House of Central Florida.
Thank you.
I'm very passionate about what it is that you're doing, your mission, and everything that is happening. Thank you. What brought that up? What brought that on, though? What put you in that position to want to deal with domestic violence?
Yeah. Domestic violence chose me in 2 ways. One, being a survivor myself, but I didn't know I was a survivor until I started working for a domestic violence organization.
You didn't realize it.
And then I realized it. So what I did when I got the position is I just was starting from scratch. I wanted to learn everything about domestic violence. I wanted to learn like what survivors went through when they came to us. How can I improve that experience? And so I took home all the different intake paper, like all the packets and paperwork to read through. And I'll never forget, there was a questionnaire that we at the time asked survivors to fill out. And it's more of a, has this ever happened? And now I know that it's a lethality assessment, but at the time I was thinking like, oh, it's a Cosmo kind of survey that I'm going to fill out. I'm going to just answer them all. And I just answered them all very honestly, and I was really surprised to realize that I was answering so many yes. So for instance, and this is the one that was my eyes wide open, has your partner ever driven with you recklessly with the lights off? And I'm like, how specific is that? And the fact that I circled yes, like that has happened to me. And just, has your partner ever spent your money without your permission? And that was another yes for me. Has your partner ever told you that what you're wearing was unacceptable and you needed to change? That was another yes for me. And so I got to the end of that survey and I realized that the relationship I had gotten out of was not just an unhealthy or wrong relationship, that it was a domestic violence, dating violence relationship. And knowing that really helped me heal, but also helped me put words to what it was that I was experiencing, because that tape recorder in my head of telling me that I'm dumb, I'm not smart,
correct,
I'm not
because you heard it all the time.
Did you feel that way though? You felt that way?
Oh, absolutely.
After you keep hearing it
over and over, low
you almost
self-esteem.
second guess yourself. You're like, wait a minute, am I really?
Am I really?
You know?
And so that really put me in a place of, okay, well, domestic violence has chosen me to, one, heal, and then also, two, to be a voice for individuals who might not feel that they're ready to come forward, or haven't discovered their own power, or they really just need the community to know that this exists in our community.
That's right.
And so that's when I was living in the Panhandle of Florida in Fort Walton Beach, and I lived there for 7 years. After that, I moved to Chicago, and I did some after-school work with girls who are at risk in the Chicago neighborhoods.
What made you go to Chicago?
So my family's in Wisconsin, and it was one of those things where I'm like, oh, I want to go back home, and my parents were both struggling with some health stuff, so I wanted to get closer to them.
Absolutely.
And I moved there, and they got like better. So I'm like, why am I living here? It's cold. So then I moved back down to Florida.
Like the snow boots.
Right? So bad. So then I moved back down to Orlando, moved back to Florida, and took the job here at Harbor House. And I haven't looked back. I mean, this is a wonderful community. I didn't know what I didn't know about the community, which is that people here really care. We have law enforcement officers, we have leadership as far as the mayors are concerned, we have commissioners who really care
They
about
really
domestic
do.
violence.
They really do.
And that is not what I've witnessed in other parts of the United States. And so what we are doing here and what we can accomplish together to be able to help survivors and hold perpetrators accountable, I really believe in. And I feel like we are on this really wonderful trajectory to be able to do it all together. And so I love what I do. I mean, it's hard work, but it's really very rewarding.
It is rewarding.
And I love some of the things that we've been able to build the past 5 years at Harbor House. One of the things I'm most proud of right now, today, would be the fact that we've grown our children's program so much.
I read that.
Yeah, we've done so much, and that's what I love. I love that we have 2 different types of camp programs. We have a camp program for kids who are living in the shelter, a camp program for kids who are living out in the community. We have teen court, we have after-school activities.
That is wonderful.
We're doing so much in the schools, and I am so proud of that, because when I lived in Chicago and I was doing all this after-school work, I kept on thinking to myself, like, we have to break the cycle.
Yes, we have to.
We have the ability to do it, and the only way we're going to do that is by talking to the kids and saying, hey, this is what you deserve. This is what respect looks like.
That's right.
This is how you talk about it. Yeah. This is how, if you can hold someone else accountable when they're talking poorly about another person or a female.
Yes.
And so that's where I'm super proud of the work we've done so
I love
far.
it. I love it. I love it. I wish, when I was going through my domestic violence, that if I needed a place to go, thank goodness that companies, organizations like yours exist.
Absolutely.
I was so fortunate to have my family, so I did not have to seek, going elsewhere. But thank you so much. I can't even say that enough, because I'm so passionate about this. I believe in it, and you and your staff and your group of people that you work with are doing amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, we have a wonderful team. And I couldn't do what I do without them. I mean, the advocates that we have who are answering the hotline, we have advocates that have been working with the organization for 20 plus years.
Wow.
When you talk about someone being called to the work,
right.
We have one advocate who works at the courthouse, and her passion is contagious. And it's one of those moments where that when you're working with someone like that, that we are absolutely not just changing lives, but we're saving lives together.
Every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, I love your passion, and I also love it because, like, it's something where I can feed off of it as well. And when people have gone through the experience, and you just want to help another person,
that's right.
That's when you can say there is life on the other side. There's life, and I tend to say this, that there's life on the other side. There's life beyond the bruises.
Absolutely. That's right.
And I'm proof of that, and you're proof of that. Right. And when you're in it, you don't know that.
No, you don't realize it.
Yeah,
you feel like you're the only one.
Oh, I'm in love with this person. You feel like I'm in love with this person, and they wish me well. He wishes me well, and everything's going to be fine. I just need to listen. And then you start sinking and sinking by all the insults and everything that's being thrown at you. You start believing it, and you start to sink. I'm so thankful for the prayers of my family, my parents, my friends, to help me to be able to realize and recognize you deserve more.
Absolutely. And
you
she's
deserve
a tough cookie.
more, and you deserve better.
I'm so happy for you.
I made it.
Proud of you too.
I made it out. Not that it's been easy. It has not been easy.
Yeah.
But I've made it. Yeah. I just want to help. I want to help, and you're doing that.
Yes.
You're doing that.
Did you say that you all go out to the schools? Is that what you said?
Yes, we do. We have different youth. We are youth advocates, and we have prevention advocates that go out to some of the different schools. Freedom High, Jones High School are just two of the Buena Vista High School is another one that we go out to.
Very good.
They work a lot with the youth, and we do something that's called Leaders of Courage and Expect Respect. And so, just the names themselves are powerful right there. And we have two really great advocates, and then we tend to partner with AmeriCorps as well, so we can really get a lot more engagement from the youth.
And they need that.
Every school needs to have this. Every school.
Every single school.
Every school.
Starting with
you can't be everywhere, but you can, every
So we
school.
could be everywhere if I had more money and I could have all
there
the
you go.
people
There
to
you
do
go.
it. But
That's
then
it.
I could be everywhere.
Money, 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 right?
Unfortunately,
Everything
with that one,
it requires that.
But yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, if we want to break the cycle, that's why we need to be in every school, and that's why we built more programming to our youth program on campus at our emergency shelter. And so on campus, it's so interesting because, I mean, running different centers, we have a 9-acre campus, and we have our emergency shelter. We have a DCF certified childcare program. We have a extended stay, so we have apartments. We have 7 apartments that someone can live in. They might move from our emergency shelter into the extended shelter stay, live there for a year. And then we also have an on-site kennel where someone can leave and bring their pets in as well. So our goal is just to remove as many barriers as possible, and make sure that someone can come in, be safe, and really restart their life. And so being a domestic violence center, we have the center part, but we are a provider, so we have 12 other locations that are out in the community.
That's wonderful, Michelle.
Where someone can drop in and they can be seen.
Are there any restrictions as far as coming into the facility?
As far as working with Harbor House, the answer is no. I mean, you're experiencing domestic violence. We're here to help you. When we have someone who's coming into the emergency shelter, it's going to be someone who is in danger, and they need to come in because of something's happened recently, and the violence in their home is escalating. And there's different individuals that we work with who are living with the abuser still, or they might have gotten out on their own, like you did, and they need help as far as counseling or finding an injunction. And so we have other advocates that are located around Orange County to help out with someone who doesn't need housing, but they still need some sort of a domestic violence service. And so we are a really comprehensive domestic violence provider. So we are more than just a shelter.
That's right. Which
and
is good.
That's the whole thing, is that if you call and you are looking for some sort of a need,
you can help.
We can help.
And we had Sheriff Mina on, and he was talking about how you have is it Lyft? That if an abuser needs to get out and they have no transportation, that they can contact Lyft, and I guess there's a code or something that they can give.
Yes. So the Orange County Sheriff's Office is a fantastic provider for that, the transportation part. We also have an advocate that's co-located within their domestic violence unit.
Okay.
So we're able to really help someone from the early part of their domestic violence case. So if there's an arrest that's taken place, we're able to reach out to the survivor and say, hey, we saw that this happened. This is what we do, and do you need any of our services? Be it that you need victims relocation, do you need to file for an injunction or a protection order? Are you looking for a lawyer to be able to help you?
Good.
Are you looking for a support group? And we're able to do that so quickly because of working with law enforcement.
I like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered any of the partners coming into the place looking for their spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend?
The answer is yes. I mean, we are in a highly confidential and secured location.
Right. Good.
But at the same point in time, there is different type of technology that people have these days, and so if someone doesn't turn off their phone and there's a trace on it, or if there's something in their phone in their car, we've had abusers show up. But that's where we rely on law enforcement.
That's right.
To trespass on a domestic violence center is a felony,
Okay.
and so that's something that happens right away. And so we have all these different layers of protection.
But they are brave and bold.
Well, it's
Come on.
especially when someone takes their power back and says,
There
I'm
you go.
leaving.
Right.
And I don't need you, and I'm going to go into a different place.
That's right.
And they feel this loss of control, and how dare you?
Yes.
You're my property.
I'm not your property.
You don't deserve to be able to be on your own. Nobody wants you. I'm going to get you back. All those different things. And so they feel very emboldened.
There is no way. I'm glad you have that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have a lot of security on site.
Oh, good. You need it.
Yeah,
you need it, because these abusers.
They will stop at nothing.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
What's happened since COVID? Tell me what's happening.
So with COVID, it's been hard. I mean, shelter living is hard in the first place, and so we have done a lot of safety protocols. And one of those things that you think of is when you're in community living and you have a lot of kids. Half our population is kids. You get other diseases, not just COVID. So like hand and foot and things like that. So we're used to dealing with communicable diseases. So I'm going to say we have one leg up. That's just something that happens when you have a bunch of kids living together.
Right.
But what we've ended up doing is we reduced the number of people who are staying in our emergency shelter because we wanted to make sure we can keep everything socially distanced. So that's one thing that we've done. What we saw also is that we needed to have different types of technology to make sure that someone could reach out to us. So we've added text and advocates, so someone can reach out to us by calling us or texting us. We also have a chat with an advocate on our website. So if you are just on your phone and you need help, you can be able to reach out to an advocate that way. But during COVID, where we really saw a large increase is in the number of people who have been staying with their abuser, living at home, living with a sister, living with their mom, and who need help. And so we did a lot as far as setting up virtual one-on-ones, virtual support groups. And out of that, we also set up what we call our friends and family support group.
I like that. I like that.
And I just know that even talking to my mom, it's something that she said that she would have attended if it was something that existed, because she didn't know how to have a conversation with me.
Right.
And so that's one reason where we came up with a workshop so people can learn more about domestic violence, but also a support group so that you can have your support while you're trying to navigate working with someone that is in your family or your best friend who's experiencing domestic violence, and you want to help.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to lose them, and so you don't know really what to say. So
you know what I like is that many organizations are doing this. I participated with the NAMI one, peer-to-peer, in that class, and they also have the family, one for the family.
They do.
Yeah, they have those for the ones who are suffering with mental health, as well as for their family members. So I really like that.
NAMI's a great group. We have another thing with COVID is that we've expanded our downtown office because of the fact that we needed more space to spread out. But with our outreach numbers going up, we wanted to do more, and we opened up an office in Apaka. And so we're partnering with other nonprofits because we have the space there. So we're going to be doing a peer-to-peer with NAMI as well. So we're partnering with them because with domestic violence, a lot of times individuals have PTSD as well, or they might have depression that comes out of the domestic violence experience. And so we want to make sure that we're able to offer a bunch of different resources.
Yeah. Isn't that something? Beautiful.
And then you always have some type of event going for the community, and I love that. You have the 4th annual handbags for hope.
Yes.
That's coming. That's November.
That's in November.
But you have something else coming before that.
We do. We do a lot for Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Yes.
And so we have our Purple Tie Tuesday that's coming up. We have Purple Door Luncheon.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And so we have that. We are also going to be doing a domestic violence conference at the end of the month and of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is October. Purple is the color.
That's right.
So everybody wear your purple all throughout the month of October. And with the Domestic Violence Conference, we're going to be doing immigration and domestic violence. We're going to be doing something as far as mutual combat as well. So people who are in the field of law enforcement, who are in first responders, people who are in hospital settings and whatnot, so they can really learn more about domestic violence. So we're really looking forward to that. That'll be our second conference that we've done.
Oh, I love it. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we want to do more. I want to do more. Please, if there's anything that I can do, please just reach out to me.
Yeah. You're not getting rid of me.
Good. Very good. Thank you for what you're doing in the community as well.
Absolutely. But no, she can't leave out of here yet.
No.
Orlando
I'm just saying thank you.
Magazine Woman of the Year.
That's right. 2020.
Uh-huh.
I was just saying thank you. I'm not trying to get rid of her.
Oh, okay.
Right? How do you know how you and I were talking earlier, it's hard to say thank you.
I know.
It's hard to take your applause being
Yes.
a woman. And so that's one of my moments. Like I just got warm.
Yes, I know.
It's hard to say thank you
It is
for
hard.
honors like that.
Yes.
I do what I do because I'm passionate about it and I love it. And sometimes I don't see myself in the same eyes that the community
There you
sees
go.
me. So definitely an honor and one of those things where I'm again proud to be here in Central Florida because it's a great community.
Yes, it is.
And we only achieve what we can achieve because of who we surround ourselves with.
That's right. How beautiful is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep doing what you do. You're on boards. You're on commit. You're just all over the place.
I try.
You're all over the place. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that people don't forget about survivors.
That's right.
And because a lot of times people are just like, oh, domestic violence, it doesn't touch our community.
Yes,
or
it
it's
does.
just about those two people. And it's not.
It's
I
not.
mean, we hear all the different stories in the media. When there's law enforcement who's impacted by a domestic violence call, we hear about it in the media. If there's something that happens with a celebrity, we hear about it in the media. But a lot of times people forget that it's not just about that. It's about the fact that it impacts the entire community. That if there's kids who are witnessing it,
there you go.
or there's somebody who knows about it at work,
Yes.
it might be that the abuser shows up at work, and that's when we have to know how to respond. If there's someone who is showing up at work and they have a gun because they're going after the person that left them. So domestic violence impacts our community in such a broad way. And that's why I'm involved in so many different things, because I want to make sure that people remember and that they're part of the solution.
Good. I love it. And the same for me. Every single day, if I can speak on it, talk on it, whatever it is, every single day, I do. The other day, I was speaking with someone, and I approached her, and she just looked a little off. Just looked a little off, and I said, you know, whatever it is, you know, you can talk about it, right? And she looked at me, and I said, no matter what it is, you can talk about it. And she started to cry. And I said, come with me. Let's walk. So we started walking, and then she was able to tell me that she is being abused. And I started speaking on the Harbor House, that she can have safety, she can find safety, she does not need to be in that situation. So, and I know she's contacted, so
That
there's
time
no
she was
reason
fearful,
for it.
probably.
Every single day, every single moment that I can help someone, I'm there for it. Every single moment.
And it's about, we never know who we're going to impact.
You never know.
And
Never know.
You know what I mean? And, and that's so powerful, and I appreciate people like you who are putting themselves out there to do that, because we have to talk about it.
We have to.
We have to share resources and let someone know that it's okay and it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
It is the abuser's fault for all of it.
Correct.
And that there are people there who want to help you get to a different place.
That's right. When I started telling her, because I wanted to make her comfortable, because of the tears, and then I shared a little of my story with her, and then she really cried. And I said, you are not alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many people have this
You
story.
can get some help. You are not alone. You do not need to stay in that situation.
Yeah. And a lot of times, abusers make you feel like you are, and that nobody wants you. No one's going to understand.
That's what I was told
all those
for
different
many
things.
years. Nobody's going to want you with all these kids.
Yeah.
You might as well just stay. Wow. No, thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. For yourself, what do you do for self-care after a stressful day? What do you do for self-care?
So I meditate and I do yoga.
Okay.
And
Good.
I've been a yoga teacher for many years.
Really?
More than I want to say.
That's good. That's great.
Yes, I've been doing it a long time. But we have a meditation room in our house. And so that's my sacred place. And the minute I just take off my shoes and I walk on that carpet,
You're someplace else.
She just gave me an idea.
I like that.
I like that.
You're in another place.
You're in another place. And creating a safe space for yourself in your safe space, there's something really beautiful about that. And so that's my number one thing for self-care.
Okay.
But I also say, I walk, I run.
Yes.
I laugh.
That's right.
I spend time with my friends.
That's right.
And so those are the different things. And we all need things like that, especially at this time. And there's no break.
None.
One thing that I am looking at just from that clinical perspective, even though I'm not a clinical person,
right.
Is everybody who we are surrounding ourselves with now, they've experienced some sort of loss or trauma.
Absolutely.
And it might be loss of job, it might be loss of space, it's going to be loss of some sort of right, something of that nature. The world is not what it was 24 months ago.
No.
And so the other thing along with that is a lot of our children are growing up with a world that we don't even recognize as adults.
Right. True.
And I keep on wondering to myself, what is that going to lead to in the future?
There you go.
And so I really think talking about self-care, practicing it, and having people see that you're practicing it, being okay to say, hey, I'm taking a couple of days, or I'm taking a couple of hours hanging out with a friend, and that being more socially acceptable to say that I'm taking a vacation.
Right.
And I need to plan my meetings around this vacation and have that be more socially acceptable will be so huge.
It will.
For all of us. Because it goes along with mental health.
Absolutely.
And it goes along with the fact that we need to take care of ourselves.
We have to take care of ourselves.
We have to take care of ourselves first, because before we can really help someone else.
Agreed.
You have to help yourself. Yeah.
So when you give yourself that time, you make yourself so much better.
Absolutely. That's one reason I love meditation, because it can be like 5 minutes, it can be 20 minutes.
However much time you need, you have to take that time.
Yes.
For sure.
Michelle, we're going to have a candid minute with you.
Okay.
At times, I wonder if I'm making a difference in my life. Do you ever, working with the Harbor House, do you feel that you're making a difference?
There's a lot of times I ask myself that same question, and take that deep breath and I meditate on it, and I know that there's days that I absolutely am, and I hear it in the laughter of the kids who are on site. I'm able to see it with the animals that are in our kennel. I get an opportunity to actually witness it with some of my different advocates, and them sharing somebody who paid off a bill, or someone who got the injunction, or they were able to move into their apartment. And so all of those things, I just celebrate the successes of our survivors, because they're the ones who are doing it.
Yes.
I just happen to be part of it. And so that brings me back to, am I making a difference? And the answer is yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Yes, I wouldn't have let you say no. I wouldn't have. Yes, you are.
Yes.
Thank
you. We thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
We thank you for being here with us.
Yes.
And everything that you're doing, and we wish you nothing but the best.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much.
And we hope that
Thank
we're a
you,
part
thank
of it,
you.
because we just want to help and give back as well.
Yeah, this
That's
was a
right.
pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. We truly appreciate it. Please join us next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for another guest right here from our community. In closing, the work that Michelle is doing in our community is outstanding. So many millions of people are victims of domestic violence and feel there is no way out. It is not always visible, and you have to pay attention to the signs. Domestic violence is any behavior that scares, intimidates, humiliates, isolates, and controls another person. There is a domestic violence myth that says, if I change, he'll change. Abuse is not about your behavior, it's about theirs. Dr. Ann Brown says, the domestic part doesn't matter. Violence is violence. We are real sisters, sharing real stories within our community. We thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It, the Candid Conversation Show.
Come on, let's have a candid conversation.